Hi guys, it's really interesting to see Dolby Atmos is also coming to games. So my first question is to the Moong Labs team. So I want to understand, is the Epic Cricket the first game to get Dolby Atmos support, and will it be available for both Android and iOS devices?
Hi. Uh, you know, Epic Cricket is going to be the first game outside China region to globally to come out with Dolby Atmos. We are really excited, with this opportunity to collaborate with Dolby to bring, this really fantastic experience to our gamers. The game is going to be initially launched on Android devices, and we'll be scheduling the iOS rollout later this year. But as of now, it's going to be available for Android.
I just want to understand what is the one reason to implement Dolby Atmos on the Epic Cricket gaming app.
So Epic Cricket, is a 3D simulation game, and we've always, championed the realistic experience to give to our gamers. And it's all about immersive experience that we want to bring to our end customers. And what Dolby Atmos allows us is to really up the level of immersiveness. The gamers will be able to really get inside the game, understand all the nuances, not just from experiencing the gameplay, but also the auditory experience of being right in the middle of the action. They'll be able to get a surreal experience of like being in a stadium, as a real match experience is. And right from the tensions and that builds up with the crowd cheering and all the uh, the whole package of experiencing cricket right in the middle. That's what Dolby enables us to provide. The realism was already there, but sound was the missing piece. And Dolby takes us to the next level.
What happens to when you play the Epic Cricket game on a non Dolby Atmos certified device? So
So, since we have enhanced our engines, the sound engine in the game, though the gamers won't be able to experience the true Dolby Atmos experience on other devices, but they'll still get a much more enhanced experience of playing the game on non-Dolby Atmos supporting devices as well.
okay, thank you. So again, I would like to ask my next question to Srihari. So recently you guys launched the Realme Pad X in India, which also comes with Dolby Atmos support. I want to understand, does it support Dolby Atmos mode on the Epic Cricket?
We have actually been working very hard on the Realme Pad X. It's our third tablet, and to put Dolby Atmos support on it was a no-brainer. Not just because of what we wanted to give to our customers, but also because of the incredible hardware that we've put in. We have these quad speakers that have their own specific channels, so they can orient according to the user. So if you're holding it horizontally, it'll make it left and right. If you're holding it in portrait mode, so similarly, hence we also enhanced it further with the help of software that's of course Dolby Atmos for the immersive sound. So when we talk about the PadX, we have three-dimensional precision game audio, uh, and which basically makes it more realistic. It's a more intense experience. I mean, you really get into the game because of that. And since you are in the game, we are talking about a world where esports is so big. So when you are in that space, it also helps your performance or the players' performance. So it's not just huff puff; it's actually enhancing their experience in some way.
Dolby Atmos previously, if you look at the last few years, it was usually seen on like cinema halls, big home theaters. Now it has been trickled down to devices like smartphones and tablets. I want to understand how difficult it is to optimize Dolby Atmos, especially on a handheld device.
When we're talking about Dolby, we are talking about the legacy of Dolby that comes from people having, especially as Indians, having watched it in theaters, heard about it, and there is sort of this real quality brand name attached when we say Dolby. So it becomes even more difficult because when we say Dolby, there is a level of expectation that comes from the user in their mind. So With the paddocks, of course, we made sure that we integrated well because of the hardware as well. So, with Dolby Atmos and with the kind of hardware that we put in the quad stereo speaker setup, we are able to, as I mentioned, the three-dimensional audio that we are able to put out. There's also work not just on how or where the audio feels like it's coming from for the user, because see, as I mentioned, there are four speakers which can work according to how the software would want to tune, which means that in some case where you're orienting and the sound is coming from the right, it will feel to you like it's coming from the right, and there's nothing coming from the left, which makes you intuitively move towards the right, right? So that sound is helping you play better. It is helping you recognize where, let's say, if it's a shooting game, helping you recognize your components better, and hence, sorry, your opponents better. Hence, with the Dolby Atmos, the sort of experience that you can get, it's basically about the details, the three-dimensional audio, and the fact that you can actually, with pinpoint accuracy, see or hear basically where that sound is coming from. So I don't think it's a sound experience that you'd want to miss. In fact, it is basically like a theater in your hand, and that's what I mean. We are fortunate that Dolby decided to work with us, and it's a pleasure that we were able to produce this device together for our consumers.
Thank you, Dhruv. My next question is to Dolby team. I just want you guys to give me probably a simplified definition of what is Dolby Atmos.
Hi Vivek. So I'll try to do that. So if you maybe I'll take your viewers to as if they are sitting in a cinema theater. So and I'll take you a few years back of how sound actually started and how we have been hearing sound. So if you think that you are in a cinema theater and you see the screen, so sound when it started many years back in theaters was probably just mono, which meant just one channel of sound just from the screen. Then it went to stereo, which was the right channel and the left channel of sound, which was 2.1, the point one being the low frequency sound. And then you had 5.1, which was generally called surround sound. And actually that revolutionized how the sound experience actually happened, whether you're in a cinema theater or a home theater, because that was truly the surround sound, because there were two channels also added on the back, on the right side and the left side. So you had five channels of sound coming into you. And then we have 7.1 and then stuff like that. But what the basic premise of Dolby Atmos is that it frees sound from channels. Because in the earlier times, sound had to come from a specific direction of sound. Now, that's not how we as our human ears hear sound, right? Because we hear sound from anywhere. Sound can actually come from any direction. If it is a rain sequence, sound has to come from the top. Or if there is a any other sequence, if you're in a jungle, sound will come from wherever it is. So that helped the sound designers or the directors to really use sound as a tool to tell their stories better, because now they can use the sound anywhere in the 360-degree space, and sound could come from any different direction, whether you're in a cinema hall or whether you're in your living room or, as Srihari was saying, on the go. And that was the basic premise of Dolby Atmos, because it freed the sound from channels. You can place the sound wherever you want. So if it is a rain sequence, the sound will actually come from the top, because that's how the rain is, right? It has to come, if it is a thunder of a helicopter moving around you. So that brought in that immersiveness, that realism, that you are yourself a part of the action rather than just merely watching the movie or a show or whatever it is. So that's how sound moved from channel-based to Dolby Atmos, which was like a completely 360-degree immersive, realistic sound experience. And what it also brought to the sound is that a lot of clarity, depth, and detailing, because that's what you really need in your best sound and picture or audio visual experience. And I think these are the basic principles of how Dolby Atmos really started from cinema, as you were saying, then moved to living room, and then of course in parallel went into on-the-go experiences. So that's what Dolby Atmos is for your consumers.
Again, building on your answer, you said that it was previously limited to cinema halls. Now it's available for almost any device that you think of, which could be a TWS, a smartphone, tablet, laptop, and smart TVs. I want to understand, while democratizing the Dolby Atmos technology, how challenging it was to bring this technology, especially to affordable devices.
Yeah, so I think one of the basic things of how Dolby Atmos works is that, and I think Srihari was also pointing that out, it actually works on the device capabilities. So it has to marry with the capability of the device. Of course, there'll be a few devices which are just not capable of replicating Dolby Atmos, so it won't be there. But I think we have the partners we are working like Realme, for example. We have worked with them on so many different devices at different price points, and we have still been able to get the real Dolby Atmos experience on that device. So Of course, the technology is there, but then it has to really marry with the device capability to really bring that best experience to the consumers. So that's what our endeavor is. And depending on whether you're in your living room or on the go or wherever you are experiencing Atmos, the experience will be as good as the device as well. So yeah, both has to really work in tandem.
I also want to understand what goes behind while certifying a device with Dolby Atmos sound certification.
Yeah, so first of all, it's not a certification. It's not that we are giving a certificate to a device. There's a lot of stuff which goes, and the way we work with all our OEM partners is that there is a lot of, collaboration during the engineering and the production cycles where we test. There is QC. There's a lot of steps which are involved. So it's not just a mere certification that it's a tick mark, but there is a much more elaborate and a deep process which allows us to really make sure that the technology is really integrated well into that device. So I think that's what we do with multiple partners, for example, Realme, and we work with them and their engineering and technical teams to make sure that their integration is really the best way possible, and we really make sure that all the QCs and the testings are done to make sure that the consumer experience is uncompromised. So I think those are the basic things, the way we work with all our partners.
Can we expect more games to support Dolby Atmos in the future?
No, absolutely. If you look at India as a market, of course, sports is important. For example, cricket, of course, music is very important, and we feel that gaming as a passion point is really, really critical because I think if you talk to any gamers, I think what they really need is placement of sound and movement of sound, right? If you actually just funnel it down to the basics of what you need in a best game, and that's exactly the principle on what Dolby Atmos works. Dolby Atmos actually works on these two very basic principles of placement and movement of sound. And I think we've been able to do that working closely with Moong Labs to make sure that the cricket game is enabled with Dolby Atmos. We feel it's just the start. It's the way we start in cinemas, or if you talk of living rooms, I think it's just a start. And absolutely, we are really excited with this launch, and we hope that there will be many more games which will be coming in the near future with Dolby Atmos. The way Dolby works, and that's why this whole collaboration, if you actually see, it's Realme, it's us, and Moong Labs with the game. I think what's very critical and important is that the content, when it is created in Dolby Atmos or Dolby Surrounds or whatever that technology is, and the device which is actually able to play it back, I think this connection between the end to end of the whole content ecosystem is very important. Because as a consumer, I should be able to play or experience music or whatever I may be doing in the best way possible, in the best technology to give me the best experience. And that's why these collaborations like these are really powerful to tell the consumer in a single narrative that experience the best content in the best device. So that's how we are kind of working together and collaborating and reaching out to the consumers.
I've been using plenty of devices that come with Dolby Atmos and even Dolby Vision certification. And when you really combine those two technologies together, when it comes
Yeah.
to multimedia consumption experience, it's really unparalleled at this point of time. And I'm actually looking forward to testing the new cricket game with Dolby Atmos support too.